right, it's good to see everybody. We got a full house tonight. It's great to have you. I just want to start off real quick by saying this. We've got a lot of really neat things that are fixing to come down the pipe. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I just want you to know that we've been working hard and diligent and putting together some things that you guys have been asking for. And we should start rolling them out here in the next couple of weeks. Some things that's going to help you increase your income, to help you do some things with your apps that you've been wanting to do. And so just stand by. I want you to know we work hard every day, creating things and looking at things. And, you know, there's a lot of things that people ask for, and we test it before we do anything with it, and it just doesn't work. You know, it just doesn't fit the platform, and things, you just can't make it work with what we do. And so we pull it, and then we work on other things. But I just want you to know, over the next several weeks, we're going to be rolling out some amazing products for you guys. And I'm telling you, one of them you're going to be able to absolutely launch into outer space with, and you're going to love it. Like I said, I'm not going to mention what it is, but I just want you to know that there are some things coming. We had a long meeting today with all the principals of the company, and we are fixing to ramp some things up, and things are really fixing to start flying off the shelf. So just stand by for that. I can tell you, I look at every platform out there. There's about 80 platforms. Yes, a whole bunch of stuff like that, Chris, but I won't go into that tonight. I can tell you this. There's about 80 platforms on the market, and I look at every single one of them. And there is not a platform out there that can do what Instant App Wizard can do. Absolutely can't. I watched a fellow this week, just since Friday. He has sold 15 apps. And he sells those apps because he's putting out a quality product, because it's a quality system. And so, believe it or not, I watch all you guys. I look at your apps every week. I just go down the list in our control panel, and I know who's working and who's not. So when you call me and say, this isn't working, I say, well, it's not working because you're not done anything. But and that's what training's for. You know, we have training every single Wednesday night, and we have those who are faithful, who show up. Not going to talk about that, Greg. And ease of use is one of them. Quality control is the next. But we'll talk about that when these things start coming out, and the differentiators. And when these things roll out, I'll start showing you the differentiators. But, you know, I go in and look at the apps, and people call and say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. And, you know, I was always raised can't, never could. And can't, never will. And if you can't, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself why. Because I can tell you, without question, there are people who are making a fortune with this program and with this product. An absolute fortune. Like I say, I've been following one specific, and I won't mention his name, but I followed one specific reseller this week, and he is exploding. I mean, absolutely exploding. And it boggles my mind, but that's what he does. So, but with that said, and I look forward to bringing these things to you guys in the next several weeks. I appreciate everybody that comes out. I appreciate your dedication. And I'm going to tell you, believe it or not, the people that come to this training every week are the successful ones. And we have a full house every week, so we got a lot of successful people. It's the people who do not take time out of their day to educate themselves, to put themselves to a next level. You know, I'm not a college person. I didn't go to college. I wasn't going to be a doctor. I wasn't going to be a lawyer. I wasn't going to do anything like that. And so I decided I wanted to be a businessman. So I hit the streets, and I started learning how to sell, because that's where the money is, in sales. Sales is the only place where you can create your own income level. You either suck and you go broke, or you're extremely good and you make a lot of money. Okay? And in order to make a lot of money, you got to get off your butt, you got to hit the door, and you got to hit the streets, and you got to talk to people. People have to know who you are, where you are, when you're there, and how to get a hold of you. And so, with that said, I want to thank every one of you that come to training every single week, because you are the difference. You know, Greg says, what's the differentiators? The differentiators that are in this room right here. because you're the successful ones. You're the ones out making it happen. Why? Because you come to training every week and you listen. I talked about text marketing, 3 weeks, I think, in a row. And we've had people that have launched their text marketing business. And they're probably making as much money on text marketing now as they were on their mobile apps. Why? Because they listened to what we said. We broke down the actual platform. Okay? When we broke down the platform, we went in there and we said, okay, you can take this one specific item right here, reputation management, build nothing but a reputation management app. You can go out and sell that, and you can make money. Then you can go back in there and you can sell them another app. Okay? So you can sell multiple platforms. You can sell multiple projects, and you triple your money. Instead of going there and saying, well, I'll do all of this for free, and I'll do this for free, and I'll do this for free, and I'll do this for free. Okay? Let me tell you what free will get you. Broke. Broke. And if you didn't take a note on that, I want everybody to write that down. Free will get you broke. Because if you don't have any money coming in and you got money going out, guess what? It eventually happens. You're down the toilet. And one thing we're going to talk about tonight, let me get through these next couple of slides here. If you haven't already, join our YouTube channel at youtube.com/InstantAppWizard. And like us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/InstantAppWizard. If you want a reminder for training, and I say this every week, and this tells me people don't watch the videos, go to InstantAppWizard.com/training if you have not signed up. If you signed up once, you get an email every week, probably 2 or 3 times, that says, hey, training's on this day, click on this link and you can sign in. You only have to sign in once because we run a full series of about 4 or 5 months. So you're signed up for everyone. But if you forget that, you can always re-sign up at InstantAppWizard.com/training or text app call to 904-548-3411. I usually get that message about 1:45. If you have not joined our Facebook group, that is absolutely the place that makes it happen. It's a great place to be. If you're on here tonight and you've been with us for a while and you've not joined that group, you are truly missing out. Go to facebook.com/groups/InstantAppWizard. This is the biggest question I get right here. I probably take more phone calls on how to increase sales than any other phone calls I have. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's only so many hours in a day. How you doing, Kenny? Good to see you, buddy. There's only so many hours in the day, and you can only work so many hours a day. Most business owners are there about 8 to 10 hours, so you really have probably, by the time they get there, you've not started work yet, because most business owners get there an hour or two before their business opens up. And by the time you get up and piddle around the house and put your clothes on and do whatever you do, it's probably about 9 or 10 o'clock. So you've already lost a couple hours, so you probably got about 5 or 6 hours left to actually go out and hit the streets and catch these business owners. So the best way to increase your sales is to do what? If you're out of time, if you no longer have the opportunity, what's the best way to increase your sales? Anybody? Anybody got an idea? That's right, Chris. Sorry, that was very rude of me. I meant to get a drink and I filled my mouth with ice. Greg says, get off your butt. That's the first thing you need to do, but create a sales army. Duplicate and replicate yourself. Okay? Roger says he gets off his butt every morning. Actually, I think Roger gets up probably 3 or 4 o'clock, because I know sometimes he's texting me at 5 o'clock in the morning, way before I get up. Okay? Greg says he just hired a good guy today. Okay? Let me tell you something. If you want to make some money, duplicate yourself. Replicate yourself. We're going to be talking about increasing a sales force, building a sales force, and looking at a sales force over this next couple of weeks, because it's extremely important if you want to grow your business. Now, some of you are happy where you're at. Some people are happy with $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And we've got people doing that. We've got people doing $100,000+ a year. Okay? but they've got more than one person. Okay, they've got more than one person doing that. But if you're happy with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you want to run your own business, and you don't want to hassle with salespeople, then don't do that. But if you want to break the 7 figures and really get things rolling and get your name out there and grow your business across the country, there are no boundaries. I mean, if you can sell in Arizona, you can sell in North Carolina, you can sell all over the world if you want to. We're nationwide, international. And matter of fact, Chris Moore's on here tonight. He's from over across the pond. And one of these days I'm going to go see him. But, we're all over the country and all over the world. But you have to increase your sales, and the best way to do that is increase the number of people you got selling. Duplicate your efforts. If you're good at sales, then train them how to sell. Now, I'm going to say something here, and this might hurt some of you's feelings. And if it does, oh well. Get over it. No, I won't say what I was going to say. Get over it, okay? If you can't sell, go buy a sales book. Go buy a sales book. If you don't know how to sell, my best salesman, when I had my roofing company, he came to me and he couldn't sell nothing. I said, duplicate you efforts. I'll fix that for the next training. Chris, you should have checked this for me before I put it up. But this guy couldn't sell anything. But he came to me and he said, Kerry, he said, man, I really want to work for you guys. He said, I hear you got some guys making great money. He said, but I've never sold anything in my life. So I gave him a little handbook that I had put together for my sales guys. And I said, I want you to go home and I want you to stand in the mirror and I want you to read this over and over and over and over. And I said, use this same spiel. And I said, you'll do well. His wife called me one day and she said, what have you done to my husband? I said, what do you mean? She said, he literally stands in the bathroom in the mirror talking to himself all night long. And let me tell you, the first year that he sold for me, he made about $140,000 in commissions. And I only paid commissions. I didn't pay anything else. So even if you can't sell, you can learn how to sell. Because if you're going to have a sales force, you have to do what? What do you have to do if you got a sales force? Anybody? You got to train them. Absolutely. Thank you, Ernest. You got to manage them. Absolutely. Train them. Manage them. You've got to lead them. You've got to lead your people. Do as I do, not as I say. Okay? Lead by example. Absolutely. So you've got to at least take the initiative to be able to walk out there every day and at least talk to somebody. Put your spiel together and go out and talk to somebody and show that salesman how to do it. You've got to be able to do that. Okay? You have to. It's imperative. Now, once you get your sales force going, you get your 1 or 2 salespeople, you're sitting in the office, you're building all the apps, and then you have your weekly sales training. Get you some books. I mean, trust me, if you read a few Zig books, you could sell ice cream to Eskimos. I'm telling you. But you've got to train yourself. My grandfather was very specific in this as we were growing up. Stephen Covey. I actually went to a full Stephen Covey course. I took Stephen Covey's course when I was in the United States Navy. I was a recruiter for 10 years for the Navy. Zig Ziglar wrote the recruiting course, and then Steve Covey, they bought a course from Steve Covey, and I went to Steve Covey. But the day you quit learning is the day that you die. And if you're not willing to teach yourself, then guess what? I don't care if you've got an ice cream truck. You're not going to be successful because you got to learn what streets to go up and down. You got to remember where the kids are. Okay? So you've got to teach yourself. You've got to educate yourself. You have to make it happen. And if you're not willing to do that, I don't care what you do. Until you do, you're not going to make it. When you start a sales force, okay, there are some things that you're going to have to do before you actually build that sales force. You have to do it. You just can't put an ad in the paper, okay? Will y'all quit with my typos? I don't care. Just kidding. But you have to set up a structure. What's the most important part of a house? By far, without question, what's the most important part of a house? That's right, Ernest. The foundation. Absolutely. The foundation. If the foundation isn't solid, if the foundation isn't in place, then what's going to happen when the salespeople start coming in? You're going to start fluttering all over the place, and the foundation is going to crack, and your business is going to fall. Kenny says the kitchen. That's the most important spot in my house. But the foundation, if you don't have a strong foundation, you're going to fall. Okay? It's going to happen. So you have to start a foundation. You have to have a system to manage your sales reps' apps. And I want to show you our system here in just a moment. It's extremely simple. You give them X amount of apps. They have X amount of apps to build. You're able to manage it. We have it set where they cannot mess with the text messaging, okay, so that you don't get screwed in the end because you're paying with one credit card and you're taking other people's money. So all text messaging has to go through you, and we're going to go through that here in a little bit, and we're going to finish up on it on next week. An advertising budget to hire reps. We've got some people that do commission only. They'll give them 100% of the setup fee, and then X amount, anywhere from 25 to 35 to 45%, maybe 50% of the residual every month. Okay, and if your prices are set correctly, that's great. That's right. You need to make them a 1099. I want to read something. Let me go back here. This is way back. I mean, you guys are firing in here. Chris wrote this a while ago. I would rather earn 1% off of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. And that was written by John D. Rockefeller. Okay? Let me tell you something. What a powerful statement that is. Wouldn't it be nice to get out there and have 200 or 300 sales reps nationwide and earning 10% off of them? You have a couple of people in your office that you're managing and making sure that the apps are quality. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? You can do that if you do what Greg said a while ago and get off your butt. Okay? You have to have a business plan. You have to have a model. You have to sit down and you have to understand your cost. If you do not understand your cost, then you're screwed to begin with. Okay? If you don't understand your cost. All right? So once you understand your cost, then you can work on things like compensation. How far do you want to spread out? Yeah, there you go. Chris says that's how you go from self-employed to a business owner. So you have to understand your areas. Okay, you have to understand your market. Maybe you want to niche these guys out, and we're going to talk about that in the morning. You know, everybody has a specific thing they can do. Okay, the niche markets are very important. I'll give you a prime example. I grew up in the restaurant business, so I understand restaurants very, very well. Okay, I literally grew up in the restaurant business. I used to sleep behind the counter. I was so small. I owned a construction company, so I understand construction companies. Okay, those two niches I do very well in. You do things in your life, or you've done things in your life that you do very well in. So choose your niches. Hire people based on their niche background, because that's where you want to target them for. I can tell you now, there's a specific rep right now who's targeting a specific niche, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's probably going to sell 25 or 30 apps this week in this specific niche. So I know it works, and he understands the niche. Okay? Strategy. What is your strategy? Now, this is going to be tough for some of you. And I'm going to be straight and to the point tonight because I want you guys to succeed, and I want you to succeed if you want to build a sales force. If you want to just continue to do what you're doing, then just do what you're doing, okay, and you'll get the same result. Or if you want to build your business and you want to bring up a sales force, this is what you have. But you have to have a strategy. And that strategy doesn't mean that because you sleep till 9 o'clock and work till 2 o'clock that you can have your salespeople doing the same thing. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. When you, somebody just said this, that's how you go from self-employed to a business owner. Self-employed people are usually the laziest people in the world. Because the first thing they think is this, man, I got it made. I can work my own hours. I can do what I want to do. When you're managing salespeople, you're the first person in the office and you're the last person out. You turn the lights on in the morning, you start the coffee, and you wait for them to come in so you can sit down and have your sales meetings and get everybody on the road. You're the last person out because you want to make sure that you know every single thing that's happened that day. Okay, you need to stay in contact with them. We've got text messaging today. Your salespeople can tell you every 4 or 5 hours exactly how many clients they've contacted, how many apps they've sold. You need to put together a program where you can track every single thing they do. I worked for a company one time. I was in sales. They put a GPS on my car. So if I told them I was visiting XYZ company over in North Dallas, guess what they could do? They could pull my car up and know exactly where I was at. And if I was actually at XYZ company at 9:30, like I told them on my report, they knew when I arrived and they knew when I left. Because every single company I had a geofence around it. And when I entered that geofence, it pinged it. And when I left that geofence, it pinged it. And let me tell you, I was very successful there. Extremely successful. Why? Because they helped me by doing that. You do not do your sales reps a favor by letting them wing it and never know what they're doing. That's the worst thing you can do. Because they're going to sleep till noon. They're going to work from 1 to 2. Why? Because they feel like they're self-employed. And in a sense, they are. You know, they're a 1099 sales rep. Okay? You're not paying their taxes. They're paying them, and they're going to make whatever money they want. I can tell you now, if you get those, you need to get rid of them just as fast as you brought them on board. Because they will wear you out, and they won't give you anything. But you've got to have a strategy. Okay? Without a strategy, you will fail. That's why businesses fail today. They do not have a business plan. They do not have a business model. They don't understand their compensation. They don't even know what the income or outgo is. They don't understand areas. What are good areas to go to and what are bad areas? It'd be great to say go to North Dallas, but guess what's in North Dallas? A bunch of millionaire homes. Very few businesses. Okay? Little pockets here and there. And it's a lot of, in North Dallas is a lot of warehouses. Okay, that's where all the warehouses are. Why? Because it's on the north loop of Dallas. All the big trucks can get in, they can get out. Not a lot of businesses for apps. You come back to the eastern part of Dallas, and that's where all the small businesses are. So you got to know your areas. You got to get out and look. When your salespeople are out, you got to go out and search for new areas. You got to put a plan together. What did we say last week? You either plan to fail or fail to plan, but whatever you do, you're right. What you need to get started, you need some good accounting software. QuickBooks, or there's tons of it online. I don't recommend one or the other. You need to make sure your salespeople have business cards, whether it be paper business cards or what's the preferable thing that you would love to leave every single customer? Anybody? A mobile business card. Thank you. Digital business card. That's exactly right. Because let me tell you something. Receipt. I love that. Who said that? Chuck, that was perfect, buddy. You want to make sure they all have a receipt. That's exactly right. You have a check. But when you give them their business card, the great thing to give them is that digital business card. Because what are you fixing to do? You're going to say, hey, could I get your phone number? I'm going to shoot you over my business card real quick. You just demonstrated how that app marketing platform works. Not only that, you just put them in your database. Okay? because it's opt-in now. We all know that text messaging is opt-in now, thanks to our United States government who meddles in everybody's business. It's opt-in. So you're going to put their number in, and they're going to accept it or they're not. But if they accept it, guess what you've just done? You've just built a database with your customers in it, or your potential customers. Hey, everybody, I just want you to know, man, we're running a special this month. We're going to, our setup fee went from $199 to $99. And they're going to start thinking about that. You have the opportunity to market to them. But if you don't have your marketing platform set up, if you don't have texting set up on your app, and it amazes me when I see people pull texting off their own apps, it makes me wonder, what in the hell are you doing? It makes me wonder, what are you thinking? I mean, that's one of your number one breadwinners out there, and you just took texting off your own app. How are you going to demonstrate that? You can't. How are you going to go out and give them your digital business card if you don't have texting on your app? So you've got to have the proper tools in place, and your salespeople have to have the same thing. They will do what you do exactly as you do it, and if you don't do it that way, they're not going to do it. Because you know what the first thing they're going to tell you? You know what, Carrie? I understand what you're saying about that texting thing, but you don't do it. I mean, where are you going to go from there? Office supplies. You can't expect your people to go out there empty-handed. Now, the number one tool we have for selling apps is the app itself, okay? And I can tell you, there again, because I've had the privilege of watching some specific people this week do their specific things, and I can tell you right now that demonstration sells a lot of apps. Sells a lot of apps. Never breaks out a piece of paper. Okay? Walks in, this is what I got, this is what it does. Could I get your phone number? Let me show you how it works. Bam, bam, bam. It's sweet, man. It's sweet. Okay? But you have to have office supplies. You got to make sure they go out there. If a salesman goes out there without a contract, if a salesman goes out there without a pen, that doesn't look very good, does it? Well, I'll come back and get your order tomorrow because I left my stuff at the office, or my boss never did buy me anything. So it takes a little bit of money to build a sales force. You just can't wake up and say, oh, let me go get 15 people in here today. Okay? You have to understand the structure. Let me go over this one more time. You have to understand your compensation plan. Does everybody understand what compensation plan means? Let me ask that question here before I go on, because I know I'm going to get that question. Does everybody understand compensation plan? Compensation, there's somebody right there. Thank you. Compensation means what you pay the reps. Thank you, Ernest. Exactly what I was going to say. Compensation is exactly what you pay the reps, whether it be a percentage, a set amount, or whatever it is, okay? It's what you pay them, their compensation. You take what you're making, okay? Non-compete's worth about 2 sheets of toilet paper. Confidentiality is the same thing. I mean, you can get them to sign a non-compete, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth 5 cents in court. Yes, Chuck, it's in the control panel. Go to your resources section. Your areas, a strategy, put a plan together, accounting software, business cards, and office supplies. What are some of the pros and cons of owning your own business? Well, let's look at that for a moment, because one of the biggest mistakes everybody wants to own their own business, right? We live in the United States of America. We're a free country where you can do whatever you want whenever you want to do it, okay? And if you want to do it, you can do it, all right? You're going to pay a little bit more taxes, the more money you make, the whole 9 yards, but you have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do in the United States of America, at least this year, okay? So there are pros and cons. There are some people who cannot manage a business. It's just the way it is, okay? That's just the way it is. Some of the pros, you have the opportunity to expand business to different locations. All right? You have the opportunity to expand to different locations. Well, Carrie, what do you mean by that? Listen, guys, if you want to sell mobile apps, I live in Dallas, Texas. If I want to sell apps in uh, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, all I got to do is get me a sales rep there. If I want to sell apps in Houston, Texas, all I got to do is get me sales reps there. I live in Commerce, Texas. I've sold several apps in Roy City, which is a growing area just up the street. I've sold several apps in Rockwall, Texas, and we've got a rep in Rockwall, Texas. Okay? I mean, it's wherever, it's whoever picks up the phone and calls Carrier or whoever's door I walk in that day, and they buy an app. But so you have the opportunity to expand your business to different locations with salespeople. Now, be aware that you just can't hire a salesperson in Kansas, all right, and not be able to go and see that salesperson and at least show up every now and then. You have to check on what they're doing. It goes back to planning. You have to make sure they understand the rules. There are rules with everything you do. Rule number 1, you will check in every morning when you hit the streets. Rule number 2, you will text me every time you sell a deal. Rule number 3, at the end of the day, you will recap everything you did. Put them together a spreadsheet and have them mail it to you. Smartphones today read Excel, okay? Most of them have their own little Excel program in there. So make sure that you put something together where they have to be accountable. Does everybody understand that word, accountable? Some people aren't accountable to themselves, but does everybody understand what I mean by accountable? The sales reps are accountable to you. They may be independent, but they are accountable to you. They actually come in and they have to let you know what's going on. It's your business. It's not theirs. Another pro, it increases your income. Goes back to the 1% of 100 people, or 100% of one person. I mean, it increases your income. And if you do it correctly, it will increase your income a lot. Okay? Greater marketing depth. The branded website on the bottom of the website. If it's got your company down there and it's got your link on there. The more apps that are on the street with your branded information, the more money you're going to make. Because the referrals start to come in. Roger Pineda, most of his business anymore is referrals. He has set a strong foundation in Arizona, and a lot of his business, well, most of his business is from referrals. He gets referrals all day long. Okay? So make sure that on the bottom of that app, if you're branding it, you can change that. You can change that now, but be careful when you change it that you're not changing it to something that's not advantageous to you. Okay? Greater marketing depth. What are some of the cons? If you've never managed a sales force, I'm going to tell you now, it takes a lot of time. I've had the opportunity in my life to manage several sales forces for several different companies. Okay? It takes an enormous amount of time. I was talking a while ago, you're in before everybody else, you're out after everybody else. You could have some serious 12, 18-hour days. If your guys are out on Saturday, guess what? You're working. I never recommend anybody work on Sunday, but we do. Most businesses are open on Sundays. You probably won't catch the manager there. But, I mean, you could work 6 days a week. Now, you could tell your guys, hey, at 12 o'clock on Saturday, I'm cutting it off. If you guys want to work, go ahead and work. Just make sure you update on me on Monday. But time to manage the reps. You've got to manage the reps. Bookkeeping. An integral part of the cons. You say, no, I said a non-compete is only as good as the people who sign it. Yeah, that's a true statement. Only as good as people who sign it. Bookkeeping, okay? You've got to keep up with what you're doing. I do my bookkeeping every single day about 12 o'clock. That's when I take my lunch break, okay? And before I go to lunch, I do my bookkeeping. I do it all. It's all online. I can access it anywhere I want to go. Okay, I do everything right there. I send out my invoices. If I'm invoicing someone, I go in and I pull the money down onto a spreadsheet and upload it right into my QuickBooks. I do everything right then. Why? Because I got to know exactly where my finances are every day. And if you're managing a business, you've got to know that. Cash flow. You can tie up money extremely quick. And let me tell you what happens when you have salespeople. And I'm going to tell you this because I've lived it and I've done it. I've been there. Okay? Carrie, man, I know I'm on commission, and dude, let me tell you, man, I've been working about 3 weeks, and I got about 15 deals working, and you know, I've got all this going on, but I haven't closed anything yet. Is there any way I could get an advance for about $1,000? How many of you have been in sales, or you've worked with salespeople, and they're always ready to close the deal? They never do, but they need that draw every single week. Every single week. Tom said, been there, done that. You know? And let me tell you, that will eat up your cash flow very quick. What if you need that $1,000 to go out and purchase sales materials? Yeah, no draws, no exception. That's the kind of person I am too, Jerry. No draws, no exception. Do not give draws. If you need draws, that means you're not working. That's my philosophy in life. If you need a draw, then you didn't work this week. So, but, and you all need to get in that mode. Is it hard? Yeah, it is. Johnny comes in, he's 24 years old, he's got a new wife, and he's got a new baby, and they ain't got no milk in the refrigerator. Well, do something nice and go buy Johnny's kid some milk. But if every time you give him that $1,000 draw, is another week he's not going to work. It's just a fact. And I know you're probably saying, God, Kerry, that's hardcore, man. That's kind of heartless. No. I'm going to tell you, yeah. Craig says, I don't get a draw. Why should you? You know, it's not heartless, guys. That's business. I'm trying to keep your doors open for you. So if you don't get anything out of tonight, write this down. No draws. And I'm taking this from Jerry Dietrich. No draws, no exception. All right? Great point, Chris. Manage the business, or it will manage you. Creating your own competition, non-compete contracts. Okay? I always had my salespeople sign them when I had my roofing business. And as soon as they figured out I was making a little bit of money, they'd go right behind me and start their own business. And let me tell you, I'd take every one of them to my attorney, and he'd say, don't waste the $200 it's going to cost you for me to send a letter out, because it's not going to fly. So, you know, it's kind of a deterrent to some, but most people are smart enough to realize that we live in the United States of America, and there really is no non-compete. All right? Any questions on the pros at all? Any questions on the pros at all? Different locations? Yeah, different locations is wherever you want it to be. It's like I said, I live in Dallas, Texas. If I want to hire a sales rep in Oklahoma City, which is about 200 miles from here, 4 hours, I run ads in Oklahoma City, and I go up there and I meet with some sales reps. They're going to work out of their house, okay? They're going to work out of their house with one app. What do you mean one app, Ernest? I don't understand what you mean with one app. Manage all reps with one app. No, they're going to have multiple apps. I'm lost on what you're asking me, buddy. Completely. You know, I'm talking about these guys are going out and selling 10 apps a week, 15 apps a week. You know, you're building a business. You have, if you're on the branded package, the platinum package, you've got 500 apps. Get you 10 reps, and that's 50 apps a piece. And hopefully next thing you know, you're getting another 500 or 10,000 or whatever. Okay. But different locations is everybody's out there. Doesn't matter where they're at. Somebody just posted, it's already flown by. They've got customers all over the country. I've got customers all over the country, and even in Canada. So, marketing in the niche, service companies. Okay, let me tell you about service companies. Why service companies? First off, they're easy to get a hold of. When's the best time to get a hold of somebody that owns a service company? And you can do every bit of your business at this time every day, the morning time. They're usually in their office somewhere around between 6 and 7 o'clock, and they're usually out of the office by about 8:30. So you have, your hour and a half to go hit your 3 or 4 service companies. What you're probably going to have to do is leave them the information, set an appointment for the next morning, okay, and or late. They're back in the office late, okay. But let me tell you the great thing about service companies. They work with big ticket items. They make a lot of money. So they have the money to pay for your app, the $199 setup and the $99 a month. Okay, and if you add the marketing platform in there, another $49. If you add the reputation management in there, that's another $49. Next thing you know, you got them up to a $300, $400 app. Okay? Referral or lead driven. They understand that. All of their business is referral or lead driven. What's the number one tool we have with our mobile ad platform? The number one tool we have that's in your platform right now that we talked about last week forever. That's right. The marketing platform with text. Okay? Lead and referral driven. They understand that. Okay? They understand that. Their reputation is usually weak. Very, very weak. Okay? Why? They're a service company. You either hate them or you love them. And most people hate them. Why do most people do not like service companies? They like them when they need them, but what's the number one reason they don't like them after they leave? That's right. You're absolutely right, Ernest. Costs too much. It costs a fortune. I had to have my air conditioner worked on not too long ago. It cost me $150 just for the guy to come out here. $150. Then the part was $299. And then he came into my inside after he put the part on and said, oh, that's not, I swear I don't think it's what it was, because he had to replace something on the inside to make it work. So that little deal cost me, which I thought was going to cost me about $100, cost me almost $700. I loved the guy when he came out here, but I hated him when he left. And what am I going to tell everybody? Man, this dude screwed me over. He cost me $700. And it would have probably cost me $700 no matter who I brought out there. So their reputation is usually weak. Okay? Niche markets. Hit the niche markets. It is well worth your time. How do you get sales reps? I just actually got this right before training. All right, this is a Fiverr page, and I'm going to post it, and I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to try to post it. Paste. I'm going to send this to all. This is a Fiverr page. Did everybody just get that link? Did everybody see that link? I'm not sure I do that right. I never do. I'm going to do it one more time just to make sure. Woodrow found this just before training and sent it to me. Okay, everybody's saying they got it. Let me send it one more time just for safety's sake. Okay, I sent it again. Now, I'll do a training on this one day, and you don't have to pay $5 for it. Doing this is very easy in Craigslist, making these clickable ads. Okay, but these people are doing it for $5. So let me tell you, it's worth $5 because you don't have to do it. But one of these trainings I will teach y'all how to do this, because I've done this a million times. All right, you put a nice ad in there, a nice graphic, okay, and you're able to link this directly to, okay, something, whatever. You can link it to whatever you want. All right, so, and it's nice and it works. But use that link if you're interested in doing that and putting your sales ads together. Every sales rep I've ever hired for anything I got from Craigslist. And next week we're going to go in depth on that. Okay, I'm not going to pound on that tonight. But I wanted to show you that right there. Okay, I sent you the link. Go in there and look at it. I'm not going to go in depth on it. It explains exactly what they do. Okay, but thank Woodrow for that. Woodrow's the one that sent that to me. But this does work, guys. It works extremely well. Matter of fact, it worked so well when I first started with Instant App Wizard, I got blacklisted on Craigslist. Okay, so but it worked really well, man. I hired a ton of sales reps. All right, so I want to go over quickly, and I'm going to go over again next week because I want everybody. Yeah, blacklisted. They shut me off. I was not able to advertise there no more. Can you believe that? Craigslist, Mr. $25 an ad, wouldn't let me advertise anymore. Change your name, change your email address, and roll on. Many of you are asking, well, what are you talking about a sales rep platform? What are you talking about? What's a sales rep platform? First off, let me show you. You go into Manage, go right here to Sales Reps. Now, I want to tell you this is an add-on feature. All right? It's not free. All right? How many of you have heard me say over the last several weeks, free will make you go broke? This is an add-on feature. Okay? Zero setup fee, $59 a month or $4.95 a year if you want to save some money. All right? But it's probably the best feature you can add. Okay? The best feature you can add. Do you advertise in the job section or elsewhere? I always advertise in the job section. Okay? This is a great feature, but it does cost. Now, I'm going to pause this real quick because I'm going to show y'all something. So give me 1 second. The screen's going to pause because I got to go in and do something. And you can't see. If I showed you, I'd have to kill you. I don't want to have to do that tonight. Give me 1 second here. Okay, now I've got my sales rep feature set up. Okay, I paid my $59, and I've got my sales rep feature set up. Now, all I've got to do and go in here is create a sales rep. All right? And it's very, very easy to do. How many apps do you want to give them? Give them about 10. All right? Don't give them a bunch of apps for them to go in there and play around with and waste your apps, and you got to go in there and delete them and all that crap. Put their name in there. All right? Put their email address in there. Put their phone number in there. Username. We'll say Carrie1. All right? Password, we'll say Carrie2. All right? Password again, Carrie2. You see what I'm doing here? You're creating a login for them that they can go into your site, through your site, and they can actually log in to your platform. But they can only see what they're working on. They can't see your stuff. They can't see anybody else's stuff. Okay, I live in Dallas, Texas. Where am I at? Now, I want you to notice something here. I may live in the United States, but my sales rep may live over there next door to Chris. Okay? In England. So I can put sales reps wherever I want. Okay? And I'm going to add him. I'm going to continue. Now, I've just created a new sales rep. Okay? Now, I'm going to log out. And now he's going to log in. Carrie1. Carrie2. And I can come in and I can start creating web apps. And continue, just like our platform. But you notice he don't have the training. He doesn't have anything up here. Does anybody know why he doesn't have that information? Does anybody know why this stuff up here is blank? That's right. It doesn't give him the opportunity to say, oh, this guy's with Instant App Wizard. Okay? All right? So he's got his own site, okay? And here we go. Whatever you want to do. See right here it says adding text disabled for sales reps. Does anybody know why we did that? Control. Control. Okay? But he can come in and build an app just like anybody else can build an app. All right? No different at all. Has all the same setups, can do every single thing that you can do with the exception of texting. And it takes 5 seconds to set them up. Now let me tell you what this can do for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. All right? If you want to expand your business, get you some sales reps, set up your sales rep feature, and teach them to go out and start selling. One person will duplicate your business. 2 people will triple it, unless you decide to pull yourself out of selling, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back and you're going to keep training people. And wouldn't it be nice to train all these people and watch the cash flow happen? It doesn't get any better than that at all. But you have to make it happen. Now, next week, we're going to go in depth, okay? This feature is simple. You go in just like I said. Hang on just 1 second. I'm going to pause it again. While I'm doing this, I want you to get your questions together. You come up here to manage sales reps, and you have the opportunity right here to pick up this sales rep function. Now let me tell you what a lot of people use this for too. They use it as a file cabinet because they've got multiple apps with multiple niches. And they segregate their whole system by using this. Just another way you can use this tool, but it was made so that you can make extra money. Okay? Now we're going to go in depth next week on advertising, getting sales reps, building your sales pool, and that kind of stuff. Any questions concerning what we talked about tonight at all? At all? Anybody? 500 limit overall still apply? What do you mean, Chris? No. You can put as many sales reps in as you want. You can have 100 sales reps if you want. It's $59 just for the system itself. Yep. You guys are flying these by here. Hang on just 1 second. Well, thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Chuck says I did a great job. You know, you guys tell me that every week. I greatly appreciate that. I really do. Any other questions here? Just real quick, that is $59. That's for the rep function itself. You can have multiple reps. I can add as many reps as I want. Thank you, Andy. I love you guys too. But guys, if you want to expand your business, and I can tell you this, we've got people that have sales reps out there. We did this sales rep training May the 4th of 2013. Okay, probably just about a year ago. How do you get someone to commit to app sitting on the fence if you already offered free app? I would never offer anybody a free app personally. Once you give somebody something for free, they don't want to pay for it. You know, basically you go in there and take it away. The old takeaway is always the best close on something like that. You walk in the door, you say, Jim, I just want you to know that your free app is ending today, and I'm going to be turning it off. You know, it's going to be $99 a month and $199 setup. And if they don't pay you, you walk out and chalk that up as a lesson learned. Yeah, free has no value. Okay? Free has no value. Ernest says move on. I'm going to tell you guys, this is what you have to learn. This is the hardest thing for a salesperson to learn because he doesn't like to lose a sale. Is walking away. Leave them your electronic digital business card. Thank them very much and go next door and sell their competition. You've got to learn to walk away. You've got to teach your sales reps to walk away. Okay? Because what happens is, let's say you got 10 of them sitting on the fence, and I'm not sure who asked me that because it's already gone by. I think it was Chris. Let's say you got 10 of them sitting on the fence. Who are you going to dedicate all your time to? Those 10 that's not giving you a nickel. I'd rather go take that 10 hours of time and go dedicate it to somebody who's actually going to pay me. So that's just my personal feelings. Yeah. So what? Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Someone else is always waiting. We got some guys that close probably 90%. We've got some guys that close 50%. You know, it all depends on your market. But I would truly get away from giving away free apps. Sell it for $50 if you have to. Get something out of your time. Any other questions? I hope I answered your question, Chris. Man, Orman, I forgot about that. I tell you what, Orman, I will do a special video for that tomorrow while I'm sitting here. I'm working on a bunch of other videos, and I will do a video and put that in the training section. And then I will promise you, because next week's training is only about 30, it's the last half of this training, it's about 30 minutes. I promise you I will do the mobile kiosk next week. I forgot all about that. I grew my son's business by more than doubling his sales and price points. Yep. Guys, value, you know, if you suck the value out of something, what's it worth? What's it worth? What's it worth? Any other questions? Yeah, that's a good point. Sell the value. Don't get hung up on the price. I'm going to tell you, the worst thing you can do is jump price points around. Find out what your price point is and stick to it. Desperation will create a havoc and you will go broke. Could I send you the mind map PowerPoint? I will have to find that, Chuck. That's been a long time ago. Chris says he talks. I'm going to tell you, this is the difference. This is another differentiator. Somebody was talking about differentiator a while ago. I was talking to one of our sales reps today. Chris says he talks price last. I was talking to a sales rep today who has sold about 15 apps since Saturday. The first thing he does is tell him exactly what it's going to cost him. Just difference in sales approaches, and they both work. Okay, I'm not saying, but when he said that, I just wanted to show you the difference in sales styles. Okay, one guy does it last. This guy walks in and he says 3 words and lets them know right up front, this is the cost. So, and he sells a lot of apps. So, yeah, Chuck, I remember exactly what you're talking about. I've got a million files. I will find it though, I promise you. I've just got to dig and look. Any other questions? Guys, before I close, I just want to remind you again, we got a lot of neat stuff coming up. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail what it is, and I won't be putting out what it is until it's ready to launch. But we got a lot of great things that are coming up. Okay, and so just stand by. Our job, we have one job in life here, guys and ladies, is to help you make money. That's the only thing we ever think about is helping you make money. Because if you're making money, I'm making money. And that's just the bottom line. And so we want you making money. We want you making a lot of money. I want you making a whole lot more money than I make. That way you'll get me something for Christmas. But we got a lot of great things coming. We are working on a training seminar where we can all get together and have a good time. We talked about that today. And keep the Facebook group hopping, guys, because that's where we get our good data from. And we love it. We love it. All right, folks, if there's no more questions, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We had a good, strong crowd this evening, and it's always wonderful to see everybody. It's great to have you on training. And I'm going to ask again. I hadn't asked in 2 or 3 weeks. Does everybody like the way we're doing training now? We get on a subject, we stick with a subject, we work on the subject, and we get it out of the way. Does everybody like the way we're doing training now? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Great, great, great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I want to know. That's what keeps us going. Thank you, Chris. Man, I appreciate you, buddy. You guys are too kind to me. But y'all have a great night. God bless, man, and I love each and every one of you, and I love it when you come out on Wednesday nights, man. It's a lot of fun. But I will see you in the Facebook group, and I'll have the training up first thing tomorrow. Good night, and have a wonderful evening. Go kiss your wives. Thank you, Joseph. I'll see you on the flip side, Kenny.